Welcome back to episode number 5 of Road to World Series here with the Seattle Mariners. In the last episode, we made it all the way to the championship series. However, we got eliminated because the Yankees defeated us in 5 games. This episode, we're going to go into the 2023 season, but before we head into the off-season and then sim through the season, I just wanted to mention that we had more players' contracts ending, so I just want to give a quick recap of the people that I signed. I signed Mallex Smith up for 6 years. I signed Omar Narvaez for 3 years. I signed Ryan Healy for 2 years. And I signed Taylor Rogers for 1 more year. In this offseason, there aren't many free agents that I want to sign. However, I do want to make a couple more trades to make the team better because I think a couple of the trades that I've made over the past couple episodes probably hurt us more than helping. So I want to make up for that and make some good trades this episode. With that being said, let's head straight into the people that I want to sign up, and then we'll go right into the trades. I just wanted to mention that in the last episode, I did win over 100 games, so I do have $50 million to spend if needed. But the first and probably only person that I really want to sign this offseason is the right fielder, Aaron Judge. I'm going to sign him for 5 years at $31 million per year. And he will be our full-time right fielder as I will probably move Matt Frederick over to the DH spot to take over Chris Davis's spot. Alright, it looks like we got our one and only man for the off-season, so I'm going to go to the end of it, and then I'm going to try to make some trades to make this team better. Alright, so the first trade I'm going to be making here is Victor Arano and Eric Filia to the Blue Jays for the reliever Kelvin Herrera. He has 2 years on his contract. He's 33. In the last season, he pitched to a 1.31 ERA. In the seasons prior, he's pitched to a 3.1 and 3.02. I think he'll be a pretty solid guy to have in my bullpen, considering Arano over the past year just didn't have it. So I'm really hoping that Kelvin can do what Arano didn't. And that's my first trade I'm going to be making here in the offseason. Our second and last trade here is going to be Anthony Rizzo and the 26-year-old starting pitcher Oliver Jasky over to the Reds for the closing pitcher Mason Bridges, 21, and Bren Spillane. He's going to be the backup guy for Ryan Healy because right now I honestly trust Ryan Healy a lot more than I do Anthony Rizzo after the year that Anthony Rizzo gave us last year. So Bren Spillane is going to back him up, and this is the last trade I'm going to be making, so I'll see you guys at the beginning of the season. Alright, so this is how our lineup is going to look. We're going to be going Mallex Smith, Trevor Story, Aaron Judge, Miguel Sano, Domingo Santana, Ryan Healy, Omar Narvaez, Matt Frederick, and Shed Long hitting 9th. Our bench is going to consist of the prospect that I have just called up, AJ Wyatt. He's going to be the backup catcher. JP Crawford is going to be the backup infielder. Bren Spillane is going to back up Healy. And Jared Kelenic is going to be our backup outfielder. Our rotation is going to be Aaron Nola, Madison Bumgarner, James Paxton, Vince Velasquez, and Yusei Kikuchi filling out the 5th spot. In the bullpen, Matt Strahm will be our long reliever. Taylor Rogers, Jeremy Jeffress, Kelvin Herrera, and Joey Gerber will be our middle relievers. Our setup man will be Michael Givens, and our closer will be Felipe Vasquez. Now that we've seen how our team is going to look, I'll see you guys at the draft. Now that we've made it to the draft, let's see how horrible my luck is with having the last pick of each round. With our second pick, we're going to go with the left fielder, Anthony Fields. With our third pick, we're going to go with the second baseman, Neil Jansen. With our fourth pick, we're going to take a chance on the relief pitcher, Richard Butler. With our final pick, we're going to go for the highest potential that's left, and with those stats, I'm going to call a whole lot of BS, but we're going to go with David Ramirez. I mean, for what I was expecting, I'll definitely take it. We got 2 Bs with Forrest Adorno and Anthony Fields, 2 Cs in Neil Jansen and Richard Butler, and David Ramirez was a D potential. Yeah, I kind of figured. For anyone who doesn't necessarily understand how drafts work, I only have 5 picks this year instead of the normal 6 because I decided to sign Aaron Judge, and because Aaron Judge had a qualifying offer attached to him, the Yankees then got one of my draft picks. So let's sign everybody up, take a look at the standings and everybody's stats, and then we'll go to the trade deadline. So now let's take a look at our lineup. Mallex Smith is batting .276 with 6 home runs. Trevor Story is hitting .261 with 8 home runs and 35 RBIs. Aaron Judge is hitting .350 with 19 home runs and 44 RBIs. Miguel Sano is hitting .291 with 9 home runs and 27 RBIs. Domingo Santana is hitting .250 with 7 home runs. Ryan Healy is hitting .275 with 16 home runs and 44 RBIs. Omar Narvaez is hitting .253 with 4 home runs. Matt Frederick is hitting .279 with 19 home runs and 44 RBIs. And Shed Long is hitting .231, 6 home runs, 21 RBIs. On the bench, AJ Wyatt's hitting .225 over 40 at-bats. JP Crawford's hitting .281 over 64 at-bats. Ben Spurlane is hitting .250 over 40. And Jared Kelenic is hitting .232 over 69 at-bats. In the rotation, Aaron Nola is pitching to a 3.38 ERA. Madison Bumgarner has a 3.42 ERA. James Paxton has a miserable 4.97. Vince Velasquez has a 3.19 ERA, and Yusei Kikuchi has a 2.90 ERA. In the bullpen, Matt Strahm is struggling this year at 5.91 ERA. Taylor Rogers is pitching to a .94. Jeremy Jeffress is pitching to a 2.2 ERA. Kelvin Herrera is struggling at 4.79. Joey Gerber is pitching to a 4.02. Michael Givens has a 3.18, and Felipe Vasquez has a 2.16 ERA. Now to check out the standings, the Yankees are in first place in the East with the Rays a game and a half back. The Twins are leading the Central with the Indians 2 games back, and we are leading the West with the Angels 9.5 back. In the wild card, it's the Indians and Rays with the Angels half a game back. In the East, it's the Phillies with the Mets 2 back. In the Central, it's the Cubs with the Pirates 8 back at 500. And in the West, it's the Padres with the Dodgers right on their tail 1 game back. For the wild card, it's the Dodgers and the Rockies with the Mets 2 games back. Now I'm going to sim up to the trade deadline, and unless those players who are struggling start to get better, I have a few more trades that I have in my future. Alright, we've made it to the trade deadline. We're going to check out some statistics, and then we're going to look at the standings, and then see if I need to make any trades before we head into the final half of the season. Mallex Smith is hitting .289 so far with 7 home runs and 34 RBIs. Trevor Story is hitting .256 with 17 home runs and 67 RBIs. Aaron Judge is hitting a solid .313 with 30 home runs and 73 RBIs. Miguel Sano is batting .279 with 21 home runs and 65 RBIs. Domingo Santana is hitting .249 with 15 home runs and 46 RBIs. Ryan Healy is batting .255 with 24 home runs and 75 RBIs. Omar Narvaez has started to pick it up in the average field, batting .286 with 10 home runs and 41 RBIs. Matt Frederick is being a very solid DH, batting .269 with 29 home runs and 66 RBIs. And Shed Long is batting .244 with 14 home runs and 46 RBIs. On the bench, AJ Wyatt has begun to raise his average by now batting .311. JP Crawford is batting .253 over 99 at-bats. Ben Spurlane is batting .242 in 62 at-bats, and Jared Kelenic is batting .221 in over 100 at-bats. In the rotation, Aaron Nola is pitching to a 3.56 ERA. Madison Bumgarner has started to struggle immensely, now pitching at a 4.44 ERA. James Paxton has continued to struggle at a 4.06. Vince Velasquez has still been pretty solid, pitching to a 3.77. And Yusei Kikuchi has struggled a little bit here in the next 2 months, pitching to now a 3.97 ERA. In the bullpen, Matt Strahm has struggled immensely, pitching to a horrific 7.58 ERA. Taylor Rogers, however, is being amazing, pitching to a 1.84. Jeremy Jeffress is pitching to a 2.4 ERA. Kelvin Herrera is starting to decline, pitching to a 4.39. Joey Gerber has stayed pretty consistent, pitching around a 4 ERA. Michael Givens has struggled immensely with a 5.65, and Felipe Vasquez has struggled to a 4.35. In the East, the Yankees are on top 10.5 games over the Rays. In the Central, the Twins are above 4 games over the Indians, and we are 8.5 games above the Angels, even though our pitching is absolutely horrendous this year. In the wild card, it's the Indians and Rays with the Angels 1 game back. In the East, it's the Phillies over the Mets 4 games. In the Central, it's the Cubs over the Pirates by 5.5. And in the West, the Dodgers have taken over the Padres by 8 games. In the wild card, it's the Padres and Mets with the Pirates and Rockies both within 1 game back. Well, now I think it's time to make some trades because our pitching is absolutely horrendous this year, especially the bullpen. So I'm going to see what I can do to maybe make our pitching a little better, and we'll go on from there. So the first trade I'm going to be making here is the struggling Madison Bumgarner and the C potential reliever Anthony McIver over to the Dodgers for Milo Gilly, the closer, and Yadier Alvarez, the 26-year-old B potential starter, who this year is pitching to a 2.42 ERA. The second trade I'm going to be making here is Matt Strahm and our once A potential catcher Casey Hahn over to the Reds for the relievers Matt Wisler and Michael Lorenzen. They'll both be pretty good help, I hope, in our bullpen since it's been really bad. So yeah, I'm hoping this trade really helps us this year. And the final trade that I'm going to be making for now is the center fielder, 28-year-old Tito Polo, and our setup man, Michael Givens, over to the White Sox for the 21-year-old prospect, William Yu. So I know that I said that was the last trade that I was going to be making, but I was looking at my bullpen, and I had one too many guys, and the one that was doing the worst was Kelvin Herrera. So I looked at the trade suggestions, and the Marlins just happened to be giving away a B potential right fielder, guaranteed he's 25 and only a 69 overall, and the left fielder Kyle Simmons, who is a 19-year-old A potential prospect. So hopefully I can either use him as a trade person in the future, or he can develop into something pretty good for me. Alright, so the Mariners won 106 games, which was easily able to win the division. Malik Smith finished off the season batting .281 with 20 home runs and 75 RBIs. Trevor Story hit .258 with 29 home runs and 102 RBIs. Aaron Judge had probably the MVP season batting .321 with 42 home runs and 112 RBIs. Miguel Sano hit .279 with 36 home runs and 108 RBIs. Domingo Santana struggled a little bit, batting .250 with 23 home runs and 65 RBIs. Ryan Healy had a breakout season, batting .280 with almost 40 home runs and almost 120 RBIs. Omar Narvaez finished the season batting .286 with 15 home runs and 57 RBIs. Matt Frederick had a nice breakout season with a .271 average, 35 home runs, and 90 RBIs. And Shed Long hit .246, 17 home runs, and 68 RBIs. On the bench, A.J. Wyatt batted .282 over 110 at-bats. J.P. Crawford batted .240 with 2 home runs with 121 at-bats. Ben Spillane, kind of not doing that great, .230, 87 at-bats. And Jared Kelenic batted .240 with 121 at-bats. In the rotation, Aaron Nola pitched to a 3.34 ERA over 207 innings. Yadier Alvarez pitched to a 2.56 ERA over 200 innings. James Paxton pitched to a 4.03 ERA in just under 190 innings. Vince Velasquez pitched to a 3.57 ERA in just under 180 innings. And Yusei Kikuchi pitched to a 3.36 ERA in just over 170 innings. In the bullpen, Matt Wisler pitched to a 2.99 ERA. Michael Lorenzen finished with a 3.49 ERA. Jeremy Jeffress pitched to a 3.47. Milo Gilly was a person that I called up at the trade deadline. Didn't do too great, pitching to a 5.68. Joey Gerber had his best season so far, pitching to a 3.79 ERA. Taylor Rogers pitched to a nice solid 1.71, and Felipe Vasquez continued to struggle, pitching to a 4.09 ERA with 53 saves. Getting more saves, but his ERA is just going up. Aaron Judge, in fact, did not win the MVP award. That goes to JD Martinez. He did, however, win the Hank Aaron Award. Domingo Santana won the Gold Glove Award in left field. Now we're here at the postseason for the 4th year in a row. Cleveland and New York will face off. Tampa Bay and Minnesota will go against each other in the wild card to see which one faces us. Pittsburgh and Philadelphia will face off, while the Mets and the Padres will face off to see who goes against the Dodgers in the DS. Alright, looks like it's going to be Seattle versus Minnesota here in the ALDS. We win the first game 4-2. We win the second game 6-2. We lose the third game 4-8. We lose the fourth game 5-2. Now we're going home against Minnesota, and nothing against James Paxton, but I trust Aaron Nola right now a whole hell of a lot more. Aaron Nola on the mound here against Byron Buxton. He singles to lead off the inning. Luis Robert flies out. We're going to try to pick him off. He's safe. Jorge Polanco walks with JD Martinez now up with 2 men on. He flies out. Ryan O'Hearn flies out to end the inning. Malik Smith strikes out. Trevor Story singles. We're going to steal second with him, but he was caught stealing. And Aaron Judge lines out to end the inning. Reaches on an error. Jordany Valdespin reaches on a walk. Garver strikes out. Dalbec walks. Now it's bases loaded against Byron Buxton. He triples to score 3 runs. Luis Robert walks, and I guess we picked him off. But Jorge Polanco grounds out to end the inning. Valdespin singles. Garver hits a 2-run home run to take a 5-0 lead here in the 4th. He strikes out. Buxton gets on with a single. Robert singles him over to second base. And Jorge Polanco doubles, giving them a 7-0 lead. I think that's it for Aaron Nola. Santana singles. Narvaez walks. We got a rally going here. Frederick hits a 3-run home run, and we're back in the game. Shed Long strikes out. Malik Smith hits a home run. Now it's 7-4 here in the 5th. Story singles. Judge hits it to a fielder's choice. Sano walks, and Healy pops up to end the inning. Not before we get 4 runs in the 5th. They bring in Jake Reed to pitch the bottom of the 6th. Santana walks. Narvaez singles him over. Frederick walks, and now we have the bases loaded here for Shed Long. He gets a sac fly to drive in the run. Now they're going to bring in Adalberto Mejia to pitch against Malik Smith. He strikes out. Now they're going to bring in the righty to face Trevor Story. He singles in a run. It's now 7-6, and Aaron Judge grounds out to end the inning. Valdespin flies out. Garver hits a home run to now make it 8-6. Dalbec grounds out, and Buxton strikes out. Bottom of the 9th. Game on the line. We have Judge, Sano, and Healy up here. They're 0 for 10 combined. They're going to bring in Kirby Yates to close the game. Judge gets on with a walk. Sano strikes out. Healy strikes out. And Santana strikes out to end the game. The Twins have defeated the Mariners in the ALDS. The Yankees go on to win the World Series 4-3 over the Dodgers. And I guess we're going to have an episode 6 here with the Mariners. Although I gotta be honest with you, it's kind of deteriorating knowing that I can put together such an amazing team time and time again, and I just can't get past anything right now. But I'm going to stay optimistic, and I'm going to hope that we can do better in 2024. With that being said, I hope you guys enjoyed the video. If you did and you want to see more, consider liking the video and subscribing. Turn on the notification bell so you guys know when I upload the videos. For whenever I beat the World Series here with the Mariners, let me know what team you want me to do next. I've already done the Red Sox, so if you want to watch that, It'll be in the card at the end of the video with the playlist of the whole series so far. And with that being said, I'll see you guys back here for the next episode for the year 2024.